Yo, what's good? Christine's mad at me, but it's all good. She's always mad at me. It's Norbs
Hey,
and it's Christine. It's a 10-8 podcast. It's 2/3 of the podcast. Our boy is out there getting ready for his fights for the bare knuckle debut, October 13th. He's in camp, but it's all right. We'll be doing something late with him. Edgar Berlanga, still with the dirty raps. Roy Jones wants some smoke with Floyd Mayweather. Put out another video. And Keith Thurman versus Fundora possibly
so
happening.
is it rumored? Yeah, it's like they're talking about it. Allegedly, they're talking about it,
Yeah,
but
they're talking about a lot of things. We're going to talk about that after the break. Hold on. Christine, what's up?
hey, you started up the podcast and I'm mad at you. So listen, people. The
Yeah.
reason why is Jamel and I have been on him about changing the intro. It's like he can't let go of the three Norbs that are in the picture. You can't
No,
do it.
it's definitely not that. So let me tell you. So she sends me like a 30-minute intro, right? And I'm
No,
just like, dude, like this shit is really long. It's not as
no, it's
exciting as
not.
this one. You
Hey,
know what I mean?
Norbs used to do music, right? He can chop it up, cut it up, do what he needs to do.
I like the shock jock intro, but we're gonna figure it out. It's all good. But
She does.
I really do. I love the shock jock thing.
Well, there's other samples I can send to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? That
All
was
right,
just
no,
one.
we'll talk about it. We can talk
We'll
about that.
talk about it. We'll talk about it.
But yo, it's been. I mean, I think it's been pretty quiet right now in regards to My bad. I'm over here tagging people, letting people know we're live. Excuse me. In regards to boxing, until the mega fight of Canelo Saul Alvarez versus what's his name? Oh, Terrence Bud Crawford. Um, September 13th. But it's been quiet, and there's been controversy about that card because of
Yeah,
the undercard.
controversy. The undercard. Some people say it's smoking. Other people say they don't like it.
No, not even that. You know that Don King recently said the cease and desist over the Big Baby Miller fight, I think it is, versus
Yeah.
the replacement. Apparently, he has rights to that fighter. He said the cease and desist, and would like to be involved in the event. So he sent the cease and desist and shut it down. So the Canelo undercard is looking kind of shaky, baby. I don't know what's going on. I mean,
You know.
listen,
You know what?
yeah,
It's not pay per view, which
yep.
thank God. And the thing is like I'm ready there. I'm ready for the main event. So whoever's on the undercard, that's great. I'm gonna watch it. But the main event is what it's all about.
No, no, absolutely, and I think also, I think what's coming into play in the situation, and this is just being honest, is what Jake Paul did with Mike Tyson, which a lot of people, and I'm not going to say it was a fake fight or a setup fight or whatnot. I'm not trying to get
Yeah,
sued,
don't
but
do that. Don't do that.
yeah, I think it has a lot to do with that, and I'm trying to reach those numbers in order to crack more budgets and stuff like that. Because I think that fight was like 76 million or some crazy number
Yeah.
worldwide, right? So they're trying to surpass that with a real quote unquote Jake. Look, I'm saying real quote unquote fight with
Yeah.
Canelo and Bud, and I think that's coming into play in the situation. Do I believe it's going to surpass that? I don't know. Canelo is I guess an icon globally in boxing. Mike Tyson is definitely what he was, and they sold that. Jake is a very popular figure. Terrence is not at that level, but still regarded as one of the best
He's
fighters for
you
pure
well.
fighting
When you say
fans.
he's not on that level, maybe as far as like
Popularity. I'm talking about.
recognition,
Yeah,
yeah. But
I'm not
but the
talking about
thing
as a
is,
fighter. Yeah.
the people that are going to tune in, they're going to tune in because they want to see Bud get beat or they want to see Canelo get beat. So we have like two sides split down the middle, and, and,
Yeah,
and that's what it's about.
I hear you. I mean, I guess this is more of a, and it's kind of weird. It's more of a purist type of fight, and even some purists are critiquing it because of the weight difference. But again, Duran has done it, and I think Hagler's done it.
But but
But
but even as as you're saying, a purist type of fight. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But then there's also people that don't even watch boxing, but they know who Canelo is, so they're gonna watch it. So there's
Yeah,
some non-purists that are just boxing people that watch every now and then, like when Mike Tyson fights or Jake Paul or Canelo. It's the same type of people that are gonna be watching as well.
I just feel like, when it comes to what Jake Paul does, and he does very well. He's very in tune with social media and things of that nature,
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
he has a huge following. So, and it's kind of weird because his numbers have kind of been going down. So we're gonna find out where boxing is in regards to where the true boxing fan is. Do I believe they surpass that number? I think they will. I'm gonna say they will. I think Canelo is that big of a draw globally, and at the same time, I think we're coming down to the what's the word I'm looking for? The end of two careers, pretty much.
Yeah, the end of an era, really. It's like,
Yeah,
they're both in no means like, not able to go on if they want to,
yeah.
but we are coming to an end of an era, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of new dogs coming in. And yeah, I think
Are
a lot
there
of them
though?
are going to be too.
Are there though? But I mean, it's it's gonna be crazy when Canelo retires. Canelo's probably the last superstar in boxing. Like literally. I mean, people would say Gervonta Davis, right? But Gervonta, we don't know what the hell's going on with him. He doesn't want to fight anybody. I think that's it. I mean, I'm talking about the the huge events type of fighters. I think that's pretty much it at this point. I don't know who else can carry that mantle. It went from Floyd, to Canelo. From before that was Oscar. Before that was what,
I
baby?
mean, we still have Usyk, you know. Um,
Oh yeah,
AJ's still talking. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I'm talking about Americans though. AJ is
But
AJ.
Canelo's not an American, bro.
No, he isn't. But there's a huge Mexican population in the United States, and
Sure,
as
sure
much as
is.
people may say he's not American, he's the biggest draw globally. Period. You know what I mean? Like with AJ, I think it's more so Europe. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury may be
Well,
global.
Usyk's there. Usyk's up
Yeah,
there.
but I feel like in America, and it's crazy because Canelo is not American. You're right. That's
Yeah,
it.
you said globally.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. I'm more focused on here. I think boxing really starts here and then it spreads out, right? It has become more European or whatnot, but
It's been
it's not
around.
gonna.
It's
It's
been
not gonna.
around. It's been around. It's just like we're just now starting to pay attention to other countries and the
Yeah,
talents that they bring.
but who does the mantle go to? Think about that for a second.
No, no, I see what you're saying. I see
You
what
had
you're
Roy
saying.
Jones at one point. I mean, Roy wasn't a big. I mean, Trinidad was a huge superstar.
Yeah,
Oscar was a huge.
yeah.
Like, I don't think it's gonna be a big star. I mean, or at least willing to. I mean, Gervonta could be him, but he's not willing to be great, right? He wants out. Ryan Garcia is not good enough. Tiafimo's racist. um, I mean, who can step in? I mean,
I mean, I
Shakur.
think I was just gonna say. I mean, I think Shakur is still young enough and still has enough time where one day he could definitely be that guy.
I just think I totally disagree, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel like Shakur, he fights like an older Mayweather, right? In a sense, right? Like people tend to forget a lot of Floyd's fights became big because he had Oscar there. Oscar, when he fought Oscar, that kind of transitioned him. When he had a Toro Gotti, that kind of transitioned him. Who does he have to take him to that level?
Bro,
And
he
he's not
went
that
to the
exciting.
he went to the Olympics. People knew who he was.
No,
When he was Pretty Boy Floyd, people knew who he was. Yes, those were like,
yeah,
marquee fights, but people knew who he was.
yes, but what transitioned him to superstar was pretty much him fighting that superstar, which was
Exactly.
Oscar.
Over
Yeah.
time.
No, you sound like a
I
robot.
really
I don't know
do.
what
I
happened.
mean, he's young enough.
I mean, he's 28
Say
years old. He's not that young. He's not that young. Shakur is not that young right now. And then, just they don't know what the happened. She turned into RoboCop. But in that regard, I think boxing is going to be really tough. Trenton Sparks, what's up, buddy? What's up? Let's see if Christine's back. No, Christine is still frozen. Yeah, in regards to So after this fight, it's the end of an era. Yeah, the cyborg. In regards to what boxing is going to have as the next superstar in boxing, I really believe it's going to be tough. And once Canelo leaves, who does boxing have? I think that's a question for everyone. And that's not even skills. And I think Shakur is a very skillful fighter, but doesn't have any superstars to help him go up. His fighting style is not necessarily that exciting. Boxing is going to be in a transition period once Canelo Alvarez decides to hang it up. If you really got to think about it, who? I mean, I love Bam. I think Bam is one of those guys, but will Bam be able to get the anyway fight? I think that's one of the next big fights. Bam could possibly be the next one, but that I mean, you're talking about somebody that's at like 118 or 122, whatever that division is. It's not a lot of stars that come out of there. Most of our stars in the last 20, 30 years have been from 135 to 154. I mean, you know what I mean? Moses, I mean, but he has a while to go. You know what I mean? Abdullah Mason definitely does as well. I think Abdullah Mason has very superstar talent. I mean, he's a possibility. I think that's a good one. But it's gonna be tough. Current Tank need each other to elevate, in my opinion. Trenton, I think Shakur needs Gervonta more than Gervonta needs Shakur in regards to elevating. In regards to legacy, I totally agree with you when it comes to Gervonta. When it comes to legacy, if Tank were to go and defeat Shakur Stevenson, I think he would get a big elevation in that department. I think people respect him more because, Shakur is regarded as one of the best, if not the best, at that division, or at least 1A, 1B. In regards to becoming a superstar, I think that Shakur definitely needs Tank. I think that's what it is. I don't think there's a name out there that Shakur can beat in the fashion that he fights that can elevate him to superstar level. And that's just being honest. And I'm talking about, you think of 135, where he's at to 147. I mean, who is it? Who's there? You know what I mean? The biggest name between 135 to 154, let's say, right, is Ryan Garcia. And where do we put Ryan Garcia? Is he an Oscar? No. Oscar was a dog. He was a great champion. Ryan has never been a champion. They tried to make him a champion, and then Rolly Romero foiled those dreams. So boxing is going to be in a crazy transition afterwards. Can it be a Benavidez? I don't think so either. If Benavidez can't get Canelo, I mean, what happens then? It's a slippery slope once Canelo decides to go, and I think people need to enjoy this ride that we're having with Canelo Alvarez, and I think people don't want to admit it. A lot of people don't, but Canelo is really, once he retires, it's an end of an era for one of the greatest fighters that's ever stepped in the square circle. My man Trent Sparks says, I'm excited to see where Kermel Moton goes to take. I'm with you, Trent. But this guy can't even get on live TV. He can't even break off of the YouTube live. He can't get off of the prelims. How is that even possible? When you have a Floyd Mayweather behind you, people say that Floyd doesn't do great at promoting these guys. Kermel Moton, I mean, he started off hot. He's kind of died off. He had that weight issue in Jersey and hasn't been there since, to be honest. And I think Kermel Moton's another one. I mean, if you really think about it, with guys like Kermel Moton, Abdullah Mason, things that I mean, Abdullah's getting it, is getting a push from Top Rank, but Kermel Moton is just kind of just fucking sitting there. Can't get on on a regular fight card. I think there are guys that are coming up that are studs. Moton, Joseph Brown, are like him. Abdullah Mason, exciting punchers. And I think with boxing, you need guys that punch in order to get people to sit in them seats. The boxers may be greater towards the end, but in order to sell the fights, we need those guys that are willing to lay it out on the line and punch. And Kermit Moten is a very dominating force that cannot seem to break into a major card. Shushu's okay. Shushu's excited. I don't think Shushu has that power though, Trenton. Like that people clamor. Listen, whether it's baseball likes the home run, right? The NFL likes the deep pass. Hockey likes the crazy checks. You know what I mean? You know, boxing likes the knockout. You know, um, who's going to help carry that mantle? And I think once Canelo leaves, and that's why I think the September 13th fight is so crucial because it's literally we're coming down to the end of Canelo's career. And it's not necessarily Bud. I think Bud is what Bud is. Bud is a great fighter. But in regards to what they mean to the sport, in regards to popularity and things, Canelo is he's probably the last of the Mohicans at this point. Sheldon says it may be a good boxing to have a vacancy for the face of boxing. You might be right. I mean, there may be vacant, but who's going to fill those shoes? You know, who's going to be the one that they get behind? Because right now, as long as you book Canelo, you're going to get people to sit down. You're going to get Canelo's still a big deal. Who can match that big deal? And I think that's where boxing is going to run into its biggest issues. And then, unfortunately, for the boxing fan, you know, we're coming to an end of an era. And even on Bud's part, Bud is fucking damn near 39 years old. How much longer do you think Bud can do it? People could say, well, he's in great shape. Yeah. But he's also just went up 20 pounds. And if he decides to go back down, my man Jamel Herring came out and said, and you know, he told me, he goes, when you have to cut muscle, and that really puts a trauma to your body, a la Roy Jones. And when he went back down and just wasn't the same Roy Jones. Just facts. That's just the facts. But moving forward, I don't know where the hell Christine went, but who cares? We got my man Sheldon in the building. Edgar Berlanga continues to put out these messages. This is on his Instagram. He puts Andy Lee's rapping. Wait, hold on. Somebody just sent me this. Also, Andy Lee's rapping, which was the rapping wave for Sharice, Hamza Sharice. I don't even know how to address this at this point. It's just this is how I feel. You know, I've heard things from the Berlanga camp about the dirty raps and possibly them taking action. You know, how do I feel about this? I just feel like at this point, man, it's pointless to continue to beat a dead horse unless you're going to take action. Is there any evidence or enough evidence or anything of that points in the direction of dirty raps? And I think that's something that we have to start really talking about at this point. You know, does Edgar really believe there was dirty raps? I've seen multiple videos where he's putting, "Oh, look, I'm winning the fight. Look, I'm ducking this, and I get it. I get it. You know." And then the raps thing comes out. Well, look, during the fight, I was winning. I was winning. I was doing this. I was slipping. I was hitting him with a jab. I was doing this. And then he caught me with the dirty raps, and the fight was over. And I think, you know, that's pretty much what he's trying to allege. But he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to flat out say it because it could be you know possible lawsuits and things of that nature. My man Sean says temporary, so there's no more eyes. The fighters, the common word across the words is parody. In the case I'm referring to parody in boxing. But in regards to Edgar, at this point, and just watching, it's like I feel like the camp, as well as Edgar's, trying to figure out how do they bring him back, right? You know, that was a very bad loss that he took against Hamza Sharice. Very dominating loss. To be knocked out the way he was knocked out, it was devastating for him and his camp. Especially moving forward. People weren't the biggest believers of Berlanga beforehand. And to take a loss like that to Hamza Sharice coming up from 160, it's a devastating loss, and there's a lot of money to be lost on the table for Edgar. His stock is down. When you lose a fight in the manner that he did, and there was already questions about how great you really are, you know, you're now facing a situation to where it looks like they're trying to salvage it. And if they can get people to believe that there was dirty raps, maybe there's a situation where he can get a rematch or whatnot, or a big mega fight. In Edgar's case, when you look at his resume, it hasn't been the best resume. As particularly his wins, they have not been great wins. And Hamza Shariz was supposed to be the springboard to launch him in his team's eyes. Um, no, I am not Jamel Herring. He is not on right now. My man Jamel is in camp, but he will be on tonight. But he wants me to continue to put out the content. Jamel will be on later tonight, or probably tonight around 11 p.m. if you want to tune into that Boxing Fan 101. My man's in camp right now for the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships, October 13th. But my man's working hard, but we will be back tonight. But yeah, back to the Edgar situation. Um, I just feel as if at this point they're trying to uh, salvage his career and get people hype to um, to him. They're trying to figure out what's the next move, and then you know creating this trend, the dirty raps may open the door for people to say, well, he lost because of the raps, and maybe open up a big opportunity. I just don't see that working. I think a lot of people. I mean, there's not much. I mean, there was a little push for the dirty raps, but nothing's moving. There's no lawsuits, nothing moving. And unless something is taken out uh, where they win something in regards to the dirty raps, Edgar Berlanga's gonna have to figure it out. Whether it's taking a step down and fighting um, and becoming taking a dangerous fight, maybe fighting Pacheco or something like that. Somebody that's on the rise. He may have to take a stepping stone type of fight. And Edgar wants to be the superstar, and he needs a big win. And I just can't see him fighting another Manteca. I don't think people are going to tune in. He did announce that he will be back in December. They want him in the ring as soon as possible. Do I think December is too close? It might be. But against who? You know what I mean? I don't think people are going to tune in and watch Edgar Berlanga just fight anybody at this point. People are tired. And it sucks. This is when it sucks to be Puerto Rican. The Puerto Rican fan base has pretty much is one of the toughest fan bases to get. And when you don't get that Puerto Rican fan base, or they have moved on, like they have, it seems to Xander's eyes that have hitched their wagons, it's very, very hard. I mean, we've seen Danny Garcia never get the love from the Puerto Ricans. We've seen Kermit Citron never get the love, how to earn it. Even Camacho, when I was younger, it took a while for people, but the New Yorkers loved him, and eventually some of the Puerto Ricans did. But with Edgar right now, he's in a really tough situation. He's a very tough situation. He's pretty much 1 foot out of the game. He's almost completely out, and he needs to make the next decision, his best decision. And it's going to be tough because I don't think people are going to want to sit there and watch him just fight anybody, especially not a Manteca. You know what I mean? So, who does he fight? Is it a Caleb Plant? Possible. People wanted to see that. Is that a fight? A very dangerous fight because Caleb is a very dangerous fighter. Does he fight a McCumbee? Very dangerous fight. McCumbee can crack. That might be a very good fight for McCumbee. We just watched McCumbee lose to Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco's a star. Somebody had to put money behind. Is McCumbee too big of a risk? I think it's fireworks. But does Edgar beat him? I mean, Charlo. I mean, there's way too many fights, in my opinion, that can possibly happen for him. But these are fights that are probably going to push him completely into the grave of boxing. And I don't think he has the luxury of taking a BS fight. I'm just saying. That's how I feel. Moving forward, I don't know where the hell Christine is. Let me just double check real quick. But again, guys, we'll be on tonight. I'll be on probably around 11:30 with my guy Jamal Herring. He is in training camp. I'm just keeping you guys updated on what's going on, but we'll touch on a lot of the same things that we're touching on right now. Recently, this rumor has come out. BoxingScene.com reported that a verbal agreement is in place for Sebastian Fundora to defend his WBC 154-pound title against Keith Thurman on October 18th in Las Vegas. I like this fight. Keith Thurman sells fights. Fundora needs a big win. Just came off a big win versus Tim Tszyu. Knockout victory. Actually, well, TKO. Tim Tszyu ends up quitting in the fight. Keith Thurman seems like he's back. He's healthy. He looks good. You know what I mean? Trying to get for that belt, Fundora's a tough task. Do we want to see this? I like Fundora. I want to see this fight. I want to see the best fight. I think this is the toughest division at 154. Dosey Dose says Keith Thurman is a bum. Do you really believe Keith Thurman is a bum? I don't think Keith Thurman is a bum per se. Is he not the same guy from before? No, I don't believe so. But I think there's a good notch on Fundora's belt. This is a tough division at 154. Keith Thurman's going to be a tough out for most people at 154 right now. You know, that is the money division to me in terms of the most talented division at 154 at this point. My man Sheldon says Jamel and Cam preparing for a fight or assisting. No, he's preparing for a fight. He will be fighting in the bare knuckle championships. What is it? BKF, I think BKFC, if I'm not mistaken. He's in camp right now, but we will have him on tonight at about 11 o'clock. But yeah, Jamel is in camp. He's been working. You guys should see him on his social media at Jamel Herring, spelled just like that, JAMEL HERING. Jamel is definitely in camp. Make sure you guys tune in. How is Keith Thurman a bum? He only lost to Mania. I'm with you, Boxer Fan 101. I don't think he's a bum either. I think he's a very good opponent for Fundora. I think it's a very good notch on his belt. Fundora gets past him. We're possibly looking at unifying at 154 pounds. Maybe him versus Xander Zayas. Been spoke about. It's a big fight, right? Mexico versus Puerto Rico. I think Fundora's Mexican, right? That's a major fight that people may want to see. That's kind of building up. Xander came out and said he wanted to fight him. They had a purse bid, did not work out. Fundora ends up dropping the belt, which eventually Xander ends up fighting for in a vacant title match, and he wins. So that could be a possible big match at 154, Fundora versus Xander Zayas. This division is shaping up. But we also got Boots Edison in the division. We got Virgil Ortiz in the division. We got Bakram in the division. There's a lot of smoke. They got Charlo in this division. There's a lot of smoke at this 154-pound division. I think this is the one to really keep an eye on. And, it's a tough division. But I think this is a good setup fight, possibly maybe getting a Xander Zayas versus Sebastian Fundora fight. I think it's a possibility. I think Puerto Rico would tune in for that one, to unify. And to be honest, and not to take a knock on Fundora, but that might be the easiest way, in my opinion, for Fundora to, or even Xander to get multiple belts in this division. I think out of the champions at 154, Bud being one of them, which I don't know how long Bud is going to be a champion, and I think Bakram's the other. I think it's the easiest way to a title right now between these two guys. So, what's going to happen? Boots is about to get into the mix. Virgil Ortiz is in the mix. There is a lot of good fights to be made at this 154-pound division, and I am super geeked to find out how it all turns out. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, y'all, about my main man. He'll be on tonight, but Christine just hit. It's all good. But anyways, moving on. 154 is crazy. Roy Jones, I don't have the footage, but Roy Jones recently put on an interview where he's talking about possibly, basically talking about his back and forth with Floyd Mayweather Jr., and he said that it was very disrespectful from Floyd to show clips of him getting knocked out and not who Roy Jones really is. It was petty on Floyd's part. Basically, Roy was asked, could he beat Sugar Ray Leonard? Actually asking if Floyd Mayweather could beat him in his prime. And Roy said no. He said emphatically no. He could never beat. And Floyd took exception to that. And that's what Floyd does. Floyd doesn't like criticism. Floyd goes as the greatest of all time. He says it all the time. And, best ever and whatever. And he took exception to it. And and he played the clips, and Roy Jones responded recently. I don't know who did this interview. I don't think it was Ak and Barack. But he took to the interview saying, I could have been disrespectful and pulled out a book and just said started to read, but I didn't want to. He said he was classless and things of that nature. He also said that if Floyd had a problem, he's easy to reach. You know, Julius, I pose this question: Roy Jones prime is better, but I love Floyd. He's a bad man, but Ray would win. Um, he said Roy Jones' prime was better. Roy Jones in his prime probably was the greatest fighter I've ever seen in regards to just sheer talent. Like you're talking about, you're talking about somebody that um, you couldn't even touch him. Like his reflexes were cat-like. He was in and out. The biggest knock people had on him was the competition level. He just made people look like shit. Similar to what Clarissa Shields, but way more dominating. He did beat Bernard Hopkins. He did beat James Toney in the same breath. I mean, I mean, how do you compare? And I think boxing may be a little easier to compare than any other sport because it's fighting. But like Floyd was what Floyd was. Was Floyd, and and he brought up a lot of good points. He said, Floyd did beat a lot of champions, right? But former champions. He said they weren't champions at the time. He said he waited to when he seen kinks in the armor before he fought people. That's something that a lot of people allege in regards to Floyd Mayweather. He didn't fight champions when they were there. He didn't fight people in his prime. Or he said the only one that he fought that was Canelo. Canelo was young. There's a lot of points that he did make. I mean, but Floyd doesn't like his his legacy critique. Julie says he beat Hopkins and James Toney in their prime. Yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Roy Jones in his prime, I don't know who he loses to. Just being honest. I mean, Roy Jones was a bad mother effer, bro. Like, I feel like once he gained that weight to fight Ruiz and then brought it down at a cut muscle, I think that really devastated his career as well as age. But Roy was untouchable. I mean, who, if anyone, could have beat him in his heyday? I believe he's the most devastating fighter. And I will say this in regards to Roy Jones. He didn't have many close fights. Floyd actually, yeah, Castillo was a close fight. A lot of people still have Castillo winning that first fight. Just saying. Chop Chop Corley hurt him. Hurt him. He came back for like a champ. I mean, who was more dominating? I think Roy was definitely a lot more dominating than Floyd. Floyd just he maneuvered his career a little bit better, a lot better than Floyd. Corrales definitely Floyd's probably best win at the time. But comparing both of them in their primes, it wasn't many close fights for Roy Jones. It really wasn't. It was just a damn show. I never seen a fighter put on shows like Roy Jones. I seen Floyd put on shows like when he fought Gotti, right? But that was far in between. Like he would fight, he would put on some good shows. Angel Man Freddy, but Roy at that time was putting on legit. Like you look like you should have been in a ring with Roy Jones, from what I recall as a kid. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Floyd was out there struggling in his fights, but sheer domination. I think Roy Jones was that. And Floyd, as he got older, he won bigger fights with bigger names. Floyd did, um, with big guys like Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, the names that he did not, that Roy Jones didn't have the the privilege of fighting. He didn't have those names. I know he eventually fought Felix Trinidad, who was washed at the time. I think he had a rematch with Bernard Hopkins, which, for whatever reason. But Roy went on a streak of just getting knocked out because he was just done. But that was not the Roy Jones uh, that we fell in love with. That was the washed up Roy. And he knows that, Roy. But if you really break down dominating your fighters, Roy might be the greatest fighter I've ever seen. I mean, the way he dominated opponents was absolutely embarrassing. Like he literally, bro. I remember watching a fight. He went and played a game of basketball. Flew in that night. beat the brakes off the guy, and went home. This is what Roy Jones was doing. Roy was just that devastating. And then people may say, well, you didn't have names. All right. I mean, like I said, Tony, Hopkins, Hall of Famers, beat them both. Who do we believe today would beat him uh, in his division? I mean, think about it. Uh, let's say 168, right? Let's just say that. Who do we got? I mean, 160. Do we think Charlo beats him? Do we think Canelo beats him? Do we think Plant beats him? Do we think Benavidez? I mean, it's tough. It's tough. You got to hit Roy. Roy was really that dog back then. A lot of people don't want to give him arguably the greatest fighter of all time because he took a loss. And I'm tired of seeing people hang losses on people for life. It's like people lose. Muhammad Ali lost. Where do we rank Roy Jones? Do we rank him over Floyd Mayweather? It's a question. It's a good question. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do know, dominating wise, I think Roy was the most dominant fighter I've ever seen. Period. Like, some people say, well, Floyd didn't lose many rounds. He was more defensive. He was a better version of Pernell Whitaker, in my opinion. A better version. Smarter version. Probably the highest IQ. But just pure talent. Floyd box, absolutely. I mean, that's why a lot of these fighters hang on that L, bro. No, we don't want to fight. They're not gonna admit it, but they don't want to lose. They don't want to take that L. They can't handle the pressure of that L. You know what I mean? So, oof, yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys like Gervonta Davis, perfect example. Gervonta doesn't put himself in danger. Doesn't even want the rematch to the guy that most people believe beat him. Now, of course, people are going to say, oh, well, Gervonta's going through stuff, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Everybody goes through things. You know what I mean? But yeah, absolutely. Floyd definitely set the standard of defending or protecting that O at all costs. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real. A lot of these fighters have adapted or whatever for that. Y'all must have forgot. Facts, Ramirez. Roy was really him. Think about this right now. Who was take prime Roy Jones, right? Compare him to anyone in the history of boxing. Roy wasn't even in any fights. He was just straight beating breaks off of people. And it started from the ding, walk out there, right? It literally started from the beginning. And he would just beat you to pole. I mean, he had power, he had speed, he had reflexes. He had swag in the ring. I mean, can we name a fighter that was more dominant than Roy Jones Jr.? I've never seen it. The heart and soul of HBO boxing, Ramirez, you're right. I mean, bro, and that's why I have the argument Roy possibly being one of the greatest, if not the greatest fighter I've ever seen. That's why when Floyd says, "Well, you lost," that doesn't necessarily change things. You know what I mean? People lose. Every great has lost. To be honest with you, or most greats have lost. Just because you're undefeated doesn't necessarily make you the best. But also, Floyd is one of them guys. So to see them going back and forth, it is interesting to see their points of view. You know what I mean? Floyd is very prideful. He hangs on being the best ever. He's not gonna. That's why people say, "Oh, he might come back and fight Manny." He's not gonna risk his bro. He's never. That man is going to die undefeated. He's not going to risk that. Period. And that's what he's gonna that's what he's gonna hang his hat on, which is cool. Which is cool. Not mad at it, but it is gonna be leaving him open to criticism. You know what I mean? On that note, guys, I'm going to let you guys rock out tonight. I'm going to try to get on at 11 p.m. tonight with my man Jamel Harry. Make sure you guys are tuned in. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Tonight I'm gonna have Jamel on. He is in training camp. At the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. I don't know his opponent, but I think it's in October 13th in New Jersey. Make sure you guys tune in. I'm gonna get a lot of behind the scenes footage for my brother. You know what I mean? But we're gonna talk about some of the stuff, whatever pops up. But we'll be back tonight to double up for y'all because I know y'all are loyal and I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in. And of course, I am not Jamel Herring. I'm just the co-host of his show. You know what I mean? Of our show. But we're here. We're a team. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate you not killing me. Tonight, I will have Jamel back on. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy Norms, and this is the 10A Podcast.